If you like to trade micro futures, you want to make sure to watch this video because we're going to take a look at My Funded Futures, Apex Trader Funding, Tradeify, and Take Profit Trader to see which prop firm is best if you like to trade with micro futures. Now, when trying to evaluate which prop firm is actually best, there's really two main criteria that we want to focus on. One, how many contracts are we allowed to trade? And then two, what is the cost to trade that micro futures contract? Well, if we look at My Funded Futures, and we're going to evaluate the 50K account across each of these prop firms. In the scale plan, it shows that we're able to trade 3 contracts. And when we scroll down here a little bit, they have what's called a micro scaling rule. Now, in the evaluation account, we can trade 10 micros for every 1 mini. So in this 50K account with My Funded Futures, you're allowed to trade a maximum of 30 micro contracts. If funded though, you want to come over and look at the rules. And for instance, in the 50K scale account, if you're a trader that likes to scale up the contract size, this may be a deal breaker for you, or maybe you find this very acceptable. But right here, you can see if your account balance is below $1,000, you can trade 1 mini or 5 micros. We don't get that same 10-to-1 scaling like we get in the evaluation phase. Once your profit grows between $1,000 and $2,000, you have the ability to trade up to 10 micros. Then once your account balance is $2,000 and up, you can trade 3 minis or 15 micros. So at no time in the funded stage will you be allowed to trade those 30 micros that you were allowed to trade in the evaluation phase. But wait, that's only one part of the equation. Now we come over, we look at how much we have to pay in commissions. We're going to scroll right on down here and we're going to find the MES, and MES contract we can see right here is going to be $1.74 round turn. Now, this is going to be a lot more expensive than if you were to trade, let's say the ES. For instance, the ES contract would be $4.80. Now, keep in mind, one ES contract would be equivalent to 10 micro contracts. If you pull up the handy dandy calculator real quick, $1.74 times 10, you'd be paying $17.40 if you were to trade 10 of those micro contracts. But the $1.74 round turn is really the number we want to focus on. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at Apex Trader Funding. If we scroll down here real quick, we can see with Apex Trader Funding, you can trade up to 10 minis or 100 micros. So Apex gives the traders the ability to trade more contracts. Now, I want to warn you guys about this. Just because you're allowed to trade more contracts doesn't necessarily mean it is the best fit. So Apex definitely wins on the amount of contracts that you can trade in this example. Well, what about the commission structure? If we go in the FAQ real quick within Apex and we search MES, we can see Apex is only $1.04. That's drastically cheaper than what we saw with My Funded Futures, which was $1.74. But at least at this moment, it looks like Apex wins on 2 criteria. 1, we can trade more contracts. 2, the cost is actually cheaper. Well, what about Tradeify real quick? If we come over and look at Tradeify, we're going to look at Tradeify growth accounts since these are the accounts that I typically trade. And with Tradeify, I always trade the growth or the straight send to funded accounts. If you guys want to check them out, there's a link in the description box down below. All 3 of these prop firms use code Mike. Now with this, we can trade only 4 minis. Now that's a little bit more than what we're allowed to trade with My Funded Futures, but drastically less than what we can trade with Apex Trader Funding. Well, let's go over and take a look real quick. What is going to be the cost round turn for an MES contract? We can see one MES contract is actually going to cost $1.82. So with Tradeify, we have a higher commission cost than both My Funded Futures and with Apex. And we are also able to trade less contracts than Apex, but we're allowed to trade more contracts than My Funded Futures. Now let's go over and take a look at the prop firm with the best payout policy, Take Profit Trader. We're going to look at that same 50K account. Right now, you can get it for $102. If you want to check them out, link in the description box down below. Use code EPITOME at checkout. So when we look right over here, we can see max position size. You can trade 6 minis or 60 micros. Now, this is not quite as much as what we saw with the Apex, but Take Profit Trader allows us to trade the second largest amount of micro contracts versus the other 3 prop firms that we've already looked at. Well, what about the commission structures with Take Profit Trader? Well, if we scroll right down here where a lot of their other rules are listed, we see right here where it says commissions. Well, it's going to be $5 for 1 mini or 50 cents per round turn. So Take Profit Trader, in this example, you are going to pay drastically less commissions than any of the other 3 prop firms out there. And it allows you to trade the second most amount of micros when compared to the other 3 prop firms out there. And another benefit with Take Profit Trader, they have the best payout policy out there. You can get paid out on day number 1 in the pro account, and there is zero consistency once you are in the funded stage. However, here's one thing that a lot of traders do not like with Take Profit Trader, and that is when you look at the drawdown rule. Once you get funded, you go from an end of the day drawdown to an intraday drawdown. However, if you watch this video right here, I'll show you exactly how to defeat the intraday trailing drawdown.